Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. This is Teri Carl Joyedian, and today I want to talk about the love languages, and I'm sorry it's been a while, but I'm back. I thought, what better topic for Valentine's Day than love? And when I talk to people in relationships, I love to suggest this book by Gary Chapman, The 5 Love Languages, and suggest that people figure out what their love language is. And it really is a language. From reading the book and taking the quiz myself, you can take it through the book or you can take it online. If you just Google 5 love languages, I actually had one of my ESL students just take it so he could find his love language and we could talk about different types of love and different ways of showing love. So I recommend you pause this video right now and you go to 5 love languages and you check out your love language if you don't know already. And if you do know your love language, find out the love language of your spouse, partner, kids, people that you have really close relationships with. It can make a big difference. So let me talk a little bit about what this love language stuff is. Gary Chapman says there are 5 love languages, which are gift giving, quality time, touch, acts of service. I knew I should have written these down. I can do this. And words of encouragement. So again, you have gift giving, you have acts of service, you have touch, you have words of encouragement. I thought it goes in 3s. Gift giving, touch, words of encouragement, quality time, acts of service. Those are the 5 main love languages that Gary Chapman talks about. And what he basically says is, even though all of those parts are important to a relationship, there's one of those, you probably have 2, but there's one that's most dominant for each person in the way that they really experience love, like ecstasy, joy, bliss. They really feel connected and loved by their partner when they experience the love through that language. So for example, someone who is really into gift giving, it doesn't have to be really expensive gifts like jewelry or vacations or electronics, but they do enjoy just receiving something tangible. It could be a card, it could be something homemade, it could be anything that's just gifted with thought, that's given, that you can touch with thought. If you are really care more about touch, if that's your first love language, then all the hand holding and kissing and massaging and maybe just touching the shoulder, any kind of that physical intimacy is the main love language for the person. If it's acts of service, then it could be helping when you get stuck with technology or with a work project, or it could be helping with things around the house like dishes and vacuuming or taking the garbage out. It could be getting stranded with a flat tire and having your partner come help you out. Those are just some examples of service, but it's more about the action being taken. Let's see, so we talked about gift giving, touch, service. Words of encouragement should be spontaneous. It could be, I'm really proud of you, I really love you, I really think you look great today, I really like that sweater, I noticed that you blah blah blah, and I really appreciate that. Words that are like a gift of words, basically, that really boosts someone up. And then finally, quality time. That's time that is very special to you and the other person. It doesn't have to be going out on an outside date, although that's nice. It could be time where you have an hour together that's uninterrupted, where it's just you two focusing on each other. and spending time doing things that you enjoy. Those are some examples of the 5 love languages. I'm not going to repeat them again because I'm probably going to embarrass myself. But it's really important to know what yours is. It took me a while to figure mine out. I was in denial because guess what mine was? It was gift giving. And I like to think of myself as a minimalist and not materialistic. I did not want an engagement ring because that was too expensive, and I didn't, if there was a date, I was not sure about how I wanted things to be spent, but I realized even though one part of me was saying that I didn't want that stuff, there was another part that was a little more unconscious that was wanting that stuff. So if you do decide to take that quiz, I recommend you also just look at what patterns you're finding as you're taking the quiz online or in the book, and also look at the descriptions and behaviors. When did you most feel that love and that excitement? When did you really feel like wrapped in like love, joy from one of those acts? Because I realized when I was most like feeling like kind of attached and just like really appreciative towards people is from random gifts that I got. A couple of people years ago got me CDs of groups that I really liked, and it was totally spontaneous and people I was not that connected to, and I just felt so much appreciation for them and felt so loved, and I was really confused by my emotional reaction, but that was a big key there. When I get little drawings from kids, often I'll put them up on my refrigerator, and anything that just seems like a thoughtful gift for Valentine's Day. My husband got me M&Ms because he knows this helps me get through work projects. It's my motivation. And he also got me a dozen roses. That meant a lot to me. Anytime he does anything where it's a gift to me, it means a lot to me. As long as there's a little bit of thought put into it. It's not just a random hair. So the strange emotional reactions and the feelings that I got when I received things like clued into me that was my love language. And I've tried to kind of do the same thing with him, figuring out his love language. I think the two of them are quality time and words of encouragement, because those are things that he has specifically asked for or complained about. If you're not sure what your partner's love language is, watch for what they're complaining about. If they're not complaining, it means you're probably fulfilling their love language. For Brian, a lot, it's about spending time with him, like being around, doing things together, sharing in activities that we both enjoy. That's very important to him. And he's also specifically asked me to say something when he completes something. Like, wow, good job, or thank you very much for doing the dishes. That's important to him. That's even probably more important than the actual service itself. And it may be a little bit weird for me because that's not my love language. But if I can understand what that love language means and how I feel when I'm receiving and giving of my love language, that can help me put myself in his shoes. So now, like, we even made a list. A couple months ago, I think, when we were working on getting closer, we decided on a date night, which was huge. Made a big difference in our lives. Date night is critical, and we're getting back on track with that. Which quality time, that's what he wants. Which sometimes turns into a gift, which is what I want. So during that time we were talking about date night and trying to get closer, we each made a list of 5 things. We had our love languages in mind that we would like from each other. And a couple of our love languages came up in what we were asking for, like asking for compliments, encouragement, making sure we spend time together. If you are receiving but not receiving in your love language, that can be where some of the distance happens in a relationship, because we have a love bucket sort of thing. It's what Gary Chapman explains. And when our partner, or whoever our relationship is, you could be talking about parent and child, when they speak in our love language through service, through touch, through whatever it is for us, they start filling our bucket and we feel supported, we feel loved. When we're not receiving in that language, it stays empty. Think of those kids' toys that had like the top. There was a box. On the top of the box, it had different holes in different shapes, like I think a cross and a triangle and a circle, so you could learn different shapes and different manipulation. Anyway, that's what it is like with our love bucket. It's like one of those boxes, and someone may be trying to jam a triangle acts of service into a words of encouragement box, and it's not going to happen. It's not going to fit. So a partner may be giving and giving, like doing all these different things for the other partner, all these different chores, all these different ways of helping, and that's great. But if that's not the language that the partner speaks, then the box is going to remain empty. It's sad. But that's why it's sometimes confusing, especially if my love language were acts of service, then that's easiest for me to give. And it might be confusing if I'm giving and giving and giving acts of service, which makes me feel great, but my partner, like, hates me. That's not hates me, but like you can certainly give, and service is important, but if that's not the peg that's going to fit in that bucket, it's not going to help the relationship get closer. What Gary Chapman recommends, if you're not sure what your partner's love language is, if they didn't take the quiz, or maybe the quiz didn't quite make sense because mine didn't quite make sense, is looking for those things. Like I said, are they complaining about something, or are you noticing them perk up when you do one of those other 5 things? And test it. I think he said for a week. Test it for a week, maybe 2 weeks, maybe longer, and see, do they seem to be more energized? Do they seem to be closer to you and more loving towards you? If they do, then you probably picked the right language. If nothing's happening, or maybe it's getting worse, then you're probably incorrect. Try a different love language. And if you want the specifics on time, check out the book, The 5 Love Languages. I think I got it from the library, so I don't think I have it right now. So, I hope you enjoyed this Valentine's Day love language solo discussion monologue. And if you know your love language, I would love to hear about it. Or if you have a story about you and your partner, maybe your child, maybe whoever, and those love languages, maybe how they were not jiving, maybe how they're now jiving, or maybe you just found out what it is today because you took the quiz. I would love to hear about that. Please let me know about it in the comments below. And please check out the other videos of We Are Valuable Media. I will be back again next week. I'm not sure, I might come on another time this week. And also, if you're seeing this on Facebook, check out the We Are Valuable Facebook group, because Terrence and I will be going live together from that page. Not sure what we're talking about yet, but we're just testing out the multi-person format going live. So it should be interesting. If you want to be a part of that, check it out live. It'll be around 1 p.m. depending on how things go technologically. And if it goes well, we'll keep doing it. And if you miss it, check out the replay. Hope you're having a wonderful Valentine's Day. I know I am. Much love and many blessings to you all. Bye now.